To understand Bitcoin mining, we first need to understand the system it protects. Think of Bitcoin as a giant digital notebook, a record book shared by millions of people. Every time someone sends Bitcoin, the transaction is written into this notebook. But this notebook isn't just one long sheet of paper. It's divided into individual pages, and each page is called a block. A block is simply a bundle of recent Bitcoin transactions, all grouped together so the network can process and record them as a single unit. As people send and receive Bitcoin, more and more transactions fill the page. And once that page becomes full, the network is ready to seal it permanently. After sealing, that block isn't just tossed into a pile. It's securely linked to the page that came before it, creating a continuous, unbroken chain of transaction history. This is the foundation of the blockchain. Each new block attaches securely to the block that came before it, forming a long, continuous chain, the blockchain. And that chain isn't just there for show. It's the core of Bitcoin's security, because every block depends on the one before it. Even the smallest change to a single page would instantly break all the links that follow. The entire network would see the mismatch, reject the altered version, and keep the real chain intact. That's why Bitcoin's history is so hard to tamper with. The chain protects every page. Each block in the blockchain is sealed with something extremely important, a unique digital fingerprint called a hash. A hash isn't just a random code. It's created by a powerful mathematical function that takes every detail inside the block, every transaction, every number, every piece of data, and compresses it all into a single, fixed-length identifier. The Bitcoin network uses what is called the SHA-256 hash function. Block data is fed through this function, which performs a transformation process and outputs a 64-character code. What makes a hash so special is how sensitive it is. Even the tiniest adjustment to the block, changing a number, altering a single transaction, or modifying a single character, will completely change the hash. It's like swapping one grain of sand in a sculpture and ending up with a totally different shape. And here's where the magic really happens. Each new block doesn't just have its own hash, it also contains the hash of the block before it. This creates the blockchain structure that means every block is permanently connected to the one that came right before it. If someone tried to change anything in a previous block, its hash would instantly change, and that would break the link to the next block. The entire chain would fall out of sync, and the network would immediately detect the tampering. So these hashes don't just act like fingerprints, they act like locks. Each block is locked to the one before it, and together they form a chain that becomes nearly impossible to alter. This makes the blockchain immutable, or incapable of being changed, and is what gives the blockchain its incredible strength. It's not guarded by one person or stored in one place. It's protected by math, and by the unbreakable links that connect every block to the next. Let's imagine someone tries to attack the system. A hacker sits down and attempts to rewrite an old Bitcoin transaction, maybe changing who sent what to whom, but the moment they try to alter that old page, everything falls apart. Because every block in the blockchain depends on the block before it, even the smallest change to a past page breaks the entire chain. The hash changes, the link snaps, and every block after it becomes invalid. It's like trying to secretly edit a page in a book where every page contains a reference to the one before it. The second you change one detail, the rest of the book no longer matches. But here's the real challenge for our hacker. The blockchain isn't stored in one place. Millions of Bitcoin users and computers around the world each keep their own complete copy of the entire blockchain on a hard drive. So even if the hacker creates a fake version with altered blocks, their copy doesn't match the real one stored by everyone else. The network automatically compares all versions, spots the counterfeit instantly, and rejects it on the spot. The longest chain is the one that gets recorded. That's the power of decentralization. No single person controls Bitcoin's history, no attacker can rewrite it, and the truth stays intact because millions of honest participants protect it. A Bitcoin node is simply a computer running Bitcoin's software. It doesn't mine, it doesn't create new coins. Instead, it acts like a rule checker, a bookkeeper, and a security guard all at the same time. Each node keeps its own full copy of Bitcoin's entire history, the complete record book of every transaction ever made. Bitcoin Core is a popular software for running a node and stores its data in a data directory which contains a local copy of the entire blockchain, currently about 700 gigabytes, with a reduced or pruned version only requiring about 5 to 10 gigabytes. And here's where it gets powerful. There aren't just a few of these nodes. There are thousands of them, spread across the planet. All of these computers stay connected, constantly communicating and comparing their copies of the blockchain. If one node sees something suspicious or incorrect, it rejects it instantly. This global network of independent computers is what keeps Bitcoin honest, consistent, and incredibly hard to tamper with. No single person controls it. The nodes do. Whenever two people exchange Bitcoin, their transaction doesn't go directly into the blockchain. Instead, it first travels to the nodes, the independent computers running Bitcoin's rules. When a node receives a new transaction, it immediately starts checking it. Does the sender actually have the Bitcoin they're trying to spend? Is the digital signature valid and created by the real owner? Is the transaction formatted correctly and following every rule of the network? Nodes act like filters. If everything checks out, they stamp it with a virtual green check mark and share it with the rest of the network. But if something's wrong, maybe the signature is fake or the sender doesn't have enough funds, nodes reject it on the spot with a red X, stopping fraud before it can spread. Once transactions are approved, they get passed into a large collection known as the mempool, where miners pick them up. Miners select from these valid transactions and attempt to bundle them together into the next official block in Bitcoin's chain. When a miner finally discovers a new block, they broadcast it to the nodes. But the job isn't done. Nodes don't just trust the miner's word, they verify everything again. Every transaction inside the block is still valid. The block follows all protocol rules. The block's hash is correct, and it properly links to the hash of the previous block. Only when every detail is perfect will the nodes accept the block and add it to their own copy of the blockchain. This constant checking, by thousands of nodes worldwide, is what keeps Bitcoin decentralized, honest, and secure. Across the world, thousands of Bitcoin nodes keep identical copies of the blockchain and stay in perfect agreement. Because they all enforce the same rules, Bitcoin doesn't depend on any single authority. The nodes are the authority. Nodes are the backbone of Bitcoin. They verify transactions, uphold the rules, and protect the integrity of the entire system, giving Bitcoin its unmatched security, honesty, and true decentralization. Now we have the foundation, a digital record book, pages sealed with hashes, chained for security. But who seals the pages? And who decides which transactions go into each block? That's where Bitcoin miners come in, and we'll explore that in the next episode.